In this week's parsha, Parshas Vayeishev, we begin the story of Yosef and his brothers. So we have the story where Yosef is sold by his brothers and he ends up in the house of Potifar. So Potifar obviously was not a God-fearing person, definitely not fearing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and at the same time, he realizes very quickly that Yosef has tremendous Siyata Dishmaya. That it says in the pasuk in Lamites Beis, Vayeishev es Yosef, Hashem was with Yosef, he ish matzliach, and he came very, very successful. And his master sees that Hashem is with him. The pasuk says, Vayardnov ki Hashem mito, Hashem, he saw that Hashem was with him. Whatever he did, Hashem made him matzliach. And he found favor in his eyes, and he put him in charge of the entire house. Hashem blessed him, the house of the Mitzri, Begal Yosef, because of Yosef. His house experienced tremendous bracha because of the fact that Yosef was working there. And that's how Yosef, Chazal say that Yosef became somewhat complacent and comfortable in the house of Potifar. And Hashem said, you are sitting, and if your father's sitting in mourning and you're combing your hair and being comfortable, I'm going to incite the bear upon you. And that's when begins the story of his troubles with Ashes Potifar, which through his tremendous accomplishments, he became known as Yosef HaTzadik and goes down in a tremendously different madrega for all time because of his Hatzach and overcoming that Nisayim. So one thing that the Gemara points out is that the Mitzri's house was blessed because of the fact that Yosef was there. So Chazal learned from here, Teikef HaTamid Chacham and Bracha. Close to a Talmid Chacham is Bracha. Really, the translation of Teikef is like immediately to a Talmid Chacham. His bracha is Yivarech Hashem is based on Mitzvah Begal Yosef. Yosef was in the house of Potifar, and therefore Potifar's house was zochet to tremendous bracha. There's bracha found around Chashuv Tamid Chachamim. So the pasuk says the Mitzri saw that Hashem was ito, that Hashem was with him. So there's a few different pshatim brought of what it means Vayhi ki Hashem ito. Rashi's pshat is very interesting. Rashi quotes the Medrash. The Shem Shamayim b'shag b'fiv. He see that he often mentioned HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that he often davened to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So I forget where I saw it, but I saw a word. The obvious question is that it seems that Potifar was impressed because Yosef would often, say Be'ezus Hashem, and he would daven to Hashem for Hatzlacha. And what does Potifar care about such things? Why is Potifar impressed by this as a reason why? I mean, it says that he saw Hashem was with him and that he was successful, and therefore he put him in charge of the house, and then the house experienced tremendous blessing. So that's the progression. So he first sees Hashem is with him. So why is he impressed by the fact that he mentions Hashem often? So it would appear that he was impressed by the religiousness of Yosef, even though he himself was not believing of that religion, but he was able to respect what Yosef was doing. He was able to respect him as a God-fearing individual. And so we just see the asod here that even if someone himself is not a believer, but the fact that he saw that somebody else was a devout believer commanded his respect, that people are able to be influenced when we do the right thing, when we make a Kiddush Shem Shemayim, people can be influenced even if that's not their own personal lifestyle. We can hopefully influence them and maybe move them closer toward the lifestyle of serving Hashem and Mitzvah Hashem. As we see, even a committed Oved Avodah Zarah appreciated his relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and his Yiras Shamayim and commitment to serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Another idea, brought in the Ramban from the Medrash, is the idea that he saw Yosef was would come out, and he'd say, can I get hot water? Come out with hot water. Can I get cold water? Come out with cold water. He said, what's going on here? Is Yosef doing magic? Until he realized that Yosef would constantly daven to Hashem for Hatzlacha, and he realized that it was because of his relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he was able to appreciate, again, this idea that Yosef had this relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he was able to influence him and have a hashpah on him. And it's something that we hope, we try to influence, again, our families and our people in our sphere of influence by hopefully having a good, happy relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a meaningful relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a life of Yiras Shamayim, we can hopefully be a light unto others. Another interesting pshat brought on the Das Kenim from the Medrash. He says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not like a human being. A human being, when the person he loves is in a great position, then he sticks by him. When the person loses his greatness, he's Yard Migdula, so then the guy throws him out, then the guy leaves him to his own devices. But Hashem is not like that. Hashem is with us in our Gedula and in our Yerida. Hashem was with Yosef in the Beis HaMitzri. When Yosef became appointed as the king, he says again, Vashi Hashem es Yosef. When he's in the jail, Vayeishev Hashem es Yosef. That's just the idea here, that just same way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was with him in the time of triumph, when he was by Yaakov Avinu, and he was the most beloved of the sons, and he got the special treatment and the special access to learning. And the same way Hashem was with him when Hashem made him the ruler over Mitzrayim and maybe even the whole free world at that time. But he had that same Hashem Ito with him when he was in the House of Potifar, when he was in the jail, to realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was with him the entire time. Hashem did not abandon him just because he wasn't as flashy. On the outside, he looks like he's not as important as everybody else. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows he's just as important as everybody else. Hashem is with him, and we have to realize in our own lives, Hashem is with us in our ups and in our downs, whether we see it or not. It just says even more so. It says a mashal to a person has 10 sons in 10 nations, and who's he going to go to? He's going to go worry about the youngest son, because that's the one who needs the help. Gives a mashal, you have wagons with wine, and they're all in the public domain. One of them goes into the House of Avodah Zarah, so he's going to chase after that one before his wine becomes yayin nesach. So it's even more so. Hashem was with Yosef, if anything, even more than the other brothers at this time, so that he shouldn't learn from the ways of Mitzrayim. Because he's in Mitzrayim, because he's in a dangerous situation, Hashem is even more with him, giving even more Siyata Dishmaya. So it just gives us an insight a little bit. When we all go through challenges in life, we all feel like we're alone sometimes. We all feel like, am I really getting the Siyata Dishmaya that I need? Is this really according to the master plan? The Pichat, it is the master plan. And it's the opposite. The more we feel like we're in danger, the more we're in a bad situation, that's all the more Siyata Dishmaya we need, the more Hashem is with us and holding our hand. And sometimes we see that there's a master plan, sometimes we don't see right away what the master plan is, but we know and understand that there is a master plan. And hopefully it will give us strength that we can walk with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and appreciate the influence we can have when we walk with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Bizocha to walk with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, learn from Yosef at Tzaddik, and grow in our Avodas Hashem. Wishing you a wonderful Shabbos.